You've spent your whole life trying to become somebody. The right parent, the best partner, the high achiever. But what if, in the process, you completely forgot who you truly are? We grow up collecting roles, collecting names, labels under the weight of what our family and society, plus our culture, expect of us. Conditioning sounds like a strong word, but that's exactly what it is. We work to be successful, to be respected, to be seen. And we do our best to make something of ourselves, to become a somebody. And while there's a place for ambition, the idea of fulfilling our potential is false. Potential by its nature is never ending. Behind all that effort, who or what is watching it all unfold? Who experienced you as a child, you as a teenager, and who will experience you as an old person? That experiencer never changes. That is your true nature. This isn't just a question for philosophers or monks. It's a question for anyone who's ever felt that quiet ache, that sense that something might be missing, even when life looks full from the outside. I'm not here to give you something new to believe, but I am here to invite you to remember something behind all you've ever known. Something so close, it's usually overlooked. Before we go a bit deeper, let me tell you who I am and why I'm here. I wasn't raised on a mountain. I wasn't handed some spiritual script. I didn't renounce the material world. I built a business. I built homes. I raised children. I ticked all the boxes and played by all the rules. I honoured the same roles as you do. And yet underneath all of that, something felt off. There was a quiet tension, like a whisper that I couldn't ignore. And that whisper turned into a roar about 5 years ago. I dove into the deepest waters I could find. Spiritual practice, strict discipline, ancient texts. I studied under a guru and asked all the big questions and just let it all unravel. And what I discovered wasn't an answer that I could hold in my hands. It was a knowing that I couldn't unsee. There was no belief. It wasn't just an idea. It was a direct, living reality. When I questioned everything, what is real, what's our purpose, who am I, the mind eventually gave way to something deeper. And in that space, the seeking stopped. What I'd been looking for had always been here, but I was too busy becoming somebody to notice it. So I'm not offering a system or a secret. I'm talking because I want to meet you where you are, to speak plainly from lived experience, in the hope that it brings the same peace of mind that it brought to me. Because you don't have to leave your life to remember who you are beneath it. From the moment we can speak, we're taught to reach, to strive, to become this somebody. If you want to be happy, get good grades, grow your wealth, get a great job, get love, get fit, get money, then you will have arrived. And this is the greatest myth of our modern world, that this happiness is out there just beyond the next goalpost, that you have to earn your right to be. But even when we get everything we ever wanted, it never quite lands. The wealth, the applause, the house, the partner, they do give us a high. They give us a hit, but it quickly dissolves and up pops a new desire and the chasing starts again. We live like people dying of thirst, running towards mirages that we mistake for water. But happiness, peace, isn't in the thing. It's in the absence of separation between you and the thing. That lack of separation we briefly taste when we achieve a goal. We can live in it because it's our true nature. So maybe the question isn't, what do I need to fix? What do I need to achieve? Maybe the question is, what if the thing I'm really looking for is what I already am? And the looking itself is the only thing keeping it hidden. It's like looking for your glasses while they're already on your head, or searching around the house for your keys just to realise they're in your pocket. Awareness is like that. Peace is like that. There are many words for it. Awareness, being, self, consciousness. And we use this word consciousness all the time. I lost consciousness. He's not conscious of it. Raise your consciousness. But what do we actually mean by that word? Most people think of consciousness as just being awake. Here's the world and I'm conscious of it. But that's just the surface. Consciousness isn't something you have. Consciousness is what you are. In waking life, you're aware of a world around you. When you dream at night, you're aware of a world inside you. And in deep sleep, there is no world, no thought. You might say then, well, there's no consciousness. But when you wake up the next morning, you remember that deep sleep. So maybe it's not the absence of experience, but the experience of absence. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep, all these states come and go. But what doesn't? The experiencer. The consciousness in which all states arise. That's the constant. Just think about the ocean. You stand on the shore and you see all these individual waves rising, falling, separating. But dive below the surface and there's only one body of water. No divisions, no borders, just movement in a single field. That's consciousness. You are not the wave looking at the ocean. You are the ocean appearing as a wave for a little while. 70, 80 years. And I know this sounds like a stretch, that everything you see, your body, your thoughts, your personality, this environment appears as separate, but it is in truth one. One field, one awareness. And it is a radical idea, but it's not my idea. For thousands of years, across traditions, this truth has been known. In India, non-duality. In the East, emptiness. In mystical Christianity, the ground of being. In Sufism, unity. And now, even science is circling back, questioning whether consciousness is not a byproduct of the brain, but fundamental to reality itself. You don't have to believe in this. In fact, belief is one of the very things which gets in the way. I want to invite you to question, to self-inquire, to look directly at your own daily experience. Because if it's true, it will reveal itself. Not because I told you, but because you experienced it. Everything you've just heard only matters if it touches your own life. So you might be wondering, who cares? What does any of this have to do with my job, my business, my kids, my anxiety, my bank account? And honestly, they're the right questions to ask. Because a philosophy or truth that doesn't live in the chaos of your Monday morning, in the heartbreak of the conversation you wish went differently, or the overwhelm you experience, then what use is it? This isn't about escaping life, it's about meeting life fully. When you realise you're not your thoughts, the inner critic loses its grip. When you see that you're not your roles, you stop performing for self-worth. When love and success no longer define you, you can enjoy them. And most importantly, and this is the kicker, when you stop avoiding pain, you find that you're the space around it. Real healing can begin. This matters because the world is tired, not just physically but existentially. It's burnt out from chasing meaning. Even when we've done everything right, something inside us still whispers, is this it? That whisper is not a problem, it's a doorway. Awakening doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't get lost in what you feel. You still plan, but you don't carry the burden of all the outcomes. You still show up, but not as a fragment. You show up as the whole. When you know you're not your mind, not your story, something shifts. You move from a place of stillness. You move from a place of response, not just reaction. That is human sovereignty. Not control over life, but freedom from the need to control. You return back to your own being. You trust what is deeper than thought. And perhaps most beautiful of all, you realise you were never alone. Because the awareness looking through your eyes is the same awareness looking through mine. Different costumes, same essence. And when you glimpse that, even for a moment, compassion stops being something you need to practice and just becomes a consequence. And you might still ask, why does this matter? Who cares? There is so much division that comes from forgetting our true nature. When we see through our own lenses of conditioning, we assume others are wrong and we fight over identities. When you see that all lenses arise from the same light, you stop taking things personally, you stop defending, and you start listening. You step out of the costume and into the consciousness wearing it. And this isn't about becoming passive, it's about becoming free. Free to live the truth only you can live. Free to speak without fear, free to love without having to perform, to create without needing the applause. Just to be. You're not missing something. You're not some project to fix. You are awareness itself, silently present, watching it all. And maybe, just maybe, here to help others remember that too.